Lean Startup by Eric Ries. I want to be careful because I feel like saying this is a classic, but I don't want to say too much, but holy smoke, this is good stuff. Lean Startup, one of the most influential modern startup and entrepreneurial books. It's a powerhouse. If you haven't read it, well, good news is we have a free course at apolloskills.com. If you have read it, this course will remind you of some of the key principles here, which I think are timeless. You can never hear enough. So let's figure out like MVPs, validation, pivoting, all of these kind of keywords, which are all part of the lean system. Let's get into them. So this course, like all good Apollo Skills courses, PDF summary, audio summary, quiz, homework activity, instant feedback. It's all there for you. So check it out at apolloskills.com. Now, if you want to understand the paradigm for a lean startup, this quote is for you. Progress in manufacturing is measured by the production of high quality goods. The unit of progress in lean startups is validated learning. So, oh my gosh, where do I even begin here? So the whole thing is, a startup is just one big guess. And if you realize that, then you just have to chip away at it and learn a little bit about your customer, how you market to them, your business model, what the product should do, what it shouldn't do, how to hire people. This is like, you got to chip away at it. And so actually, if you accept in the most humble way that you don't know anything at the start, you're just going to go figure it out, then I really think you're going to go far. So the key metric in the early stages of the company is like how much you're learning. And that's what Eric's really talking about here. So let's get into some of the themes. And what I hope to share with you is just like, oh my gosh, this is the playbook for a startup. So if you're trying to learn, picking up on the theme I was talking about before, you want to do it iteratively. Just do a little piece at a time, continuously. He talks about the build, measure, learn loop or the cycle. This is really important. Build something, measure how it goes, then ask yourself, what do we learn? And then that learning should dovetail nicely back to what you're going to build again. And away you go, iterative. So coming off the back of that, it's a whole separate podcast, I would say. And that is like this idea of doing sprints. Maybe you do a 2-week sprint, you build, measure, learn. And that's a really nice structure. I mean, think about that. That's like 25 a year. You could learn a lot, get very far. So the learning, though, what's really key is it's very customer-centric. So most of your direct learning experience should be building something, put it in front of a customer and see what works and what doesn't. Now, you can expand this and say what builds for our employees and stakeholders. That's for sure. So testing with people is at the heart of lean startup. And just start by really having a whole canvas or just a list of things that you need to test. Is there a problem? Are we solving it? Is it the best way to solve it? Do people like our product? Are they willing to refer our product? Like all these key customer-centric questions. And actually, if you think about what this does, I mean, the very word, it's a lean startup. So it's not fat, not bloated. What we're really talking about here is not wasting code. Like if you use a tech startup, for example, all the code that's written should be validated by a customer. So if you start building a feature, like before you finish the feature, you want to like test some of the feature with customers, because the whole thinking here is, why would you be building the product, writing the code, if the customer doesn't want it? So this is really going to war with that old school waterfall process where you try and guess everything at the beginning and then build it, and then a year later you test it. This is like test day one with customers. So there's a ton in here. Lots of code words, MVPs, pivots. I like this one as well. Maybe this one's a good one to call out. Having like one metric that's really going to be your guide for progress, and that'll change over time. But don't just have vanity metrics like we had a gazillion visits. Well, what was your conversion rate? That is an actionable metric. Okay, lots and lots here. So lean startup, if you really want to start your business right, you don't want to waste all of that time, energy, and effort, this is going to provide you with many practices and tools. But in the end of the day, iterate with your customer and you will have way more than just a lean startup.